Good, happy Monday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, Nashua police investigating injured man found at Motel 6. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Naked McMokin Chevrolet.
Winner of Chevy's Dealer of the Year Award. With no money down, drive the 2016 Chevy Cruze LS for only $179 a month. An award-winning car buying experience will be yours at McMokin Chevrolet.
The Thompson Auto Group.
Nashua police are on scene at a Motel 6 where a man was found this morning with serious injuries. Good evening, I'm Charisse Leclerc. Right now he is in the hospital and police are trying to figure out how he was hurt. WMUR's Mike Cronin joins us live now from the Motel 6 with the latest.
Well, police were called to the scene about 12 hours ago and they are still here right now trying to put the pieces together and figure out how this man was hurt. They say it does not appear there was any foul play. It's unclear what happened, but we did see investigators taking pictures on the third floor balcony and dusting for evidence where the area is roped off with police tape. Just after 6 o'clock this morning, officers responded to the Motel 6 on Spitbrook Road for a report of an injured man on the ground. Police say he was taken to a local hospital and then to a Boston hospital with serious injuries. Investigators have been interviewing witnesses as they try to figure out what happened.
At this point in time, we're still trying to determine exactly what happened and what led him to be found where he was. But there's nothing that's leading us to believe that anything is a foul play or suspicious at this point in time.
The Nashua Police Department is the only agency investigating right now, and they have their crime scene investigation truck here on scene. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to call police. Reporting live in Nashua, Mike Cronin, WMUR.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Man arrested after leading police officers on chase through woods. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Offers are at McMokin Cadillac. Lease today the 2017 Cadillac XT5 Luxury all-wheel drive crossover for $499 per month with no money down. The journey is just as important as the destination at McMokin Cadillac.
After allegedly jumping the car over a sandpile and landing in a ditch, New Hampshire Fish and Game says it seized several needles loaded with drugs from 30-year-old Jonathan Benedict of Concord.
I can't tell you whether that's what they were doing out there, but they certainly had it in the possession of the vehicle.
Around noontime today, Sergeant Adam Cheney and another officer were patrolling near power lines off of Garvin Falls Road in Concord.
What we usually run into out there is people will go out and they'll do their drugs, shoot up heroin or whatever.
They spotted a car illegally driving off-road.
I got off my four-wheeler, walked up to the passenger side, got about 10 yards away, and I told the person to stop and told him to roll his window down.
Cheney says Benedict drove off into the woods with the other officer chasing on his four-wheeler.
The other officer witnessed him speed up, attempting to jump over the sand pile, which he did, but he landed in a ditch on the other side.
Benedict allegedly ran off and was eventually stopped by the officer, who Cheney says suffered a minor injury during a brief scuffle. The suspect was arrested and had a warrant out of Pittsfield for domestic-related criminal threatening.
I do know he has a lengthy history involving burglaries and stuff like that.
There were 3 women in the car with Benedict. They were not hurt and were released. After his arrest, Cheney says Benedict told them he thought they were trying to kill him, and that's why he ran.
Starting to see a lot more of it over the last couple of years. People going off into the back country and doing drugs, stuff like that, causing a lot of complaints from landowners who are upset to see all the litter on the property.
Pittsfield police say that Benedict will be arraigned in Concord Circuit Court tomorrow morning on that Pittsfield warrant, and then in October he'll be arraigned on the charges related to today's incident. Reporting live in the newsroom, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Remains of Civil War veteran returned home. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
McMokin Cadillac leased today the 2017 Cadillac XT5 luxury all-wheel drive crossover for $499 per month with no money down. The journey is just as important as the destination at McMokin Cadillac.
Private Williams has been taken across the country by the Patriot Guard riders from 19 states. The journey started on August 1st and ended today. Civil War veteran Private Jewett Williams made his way home to Maine.
As a fellow veteran, I believe that we have to pay respect to all of our veterans, no matter past, present, or future. And this is just my way of giving back to them.
Veteran David Lang was among a group riding with the Patriot Riders who escorted his remains by motorcycle across 19 states.
The Patriot Guard Riders have basically set up a modern-day Pony Express to get him from Oregon back to Maine.
Veteran Nick Marks walked the remains across the Memorial Bridge in Portsmouth to the John Paul Jones Park in Kittery, where dozens of people gathered for a ceremony.
Each of the New England states and the tributes along the way have been tremendous. Firefighters on overpasses in New Jersey and New Hampshire and Maine and in Massachusetts and places. So there's really been an outpouring of interest. Tom Desjardins is a historian from Maine. After some research, he discovered where Private Williams' remains were being stored. Found it, and I saw the adjutant of the head of Veteran Services at a meeting, and I said, I got this guy in Oregon, and they were like, let's bring him home. And then when the Patriot Guards got involved, it just became a really super, story and effort. He says Private Williams was drafted in 1864 and served for the last 6 months of the Civil War. Saw a number of battles in combat and was there at the end. And he was still present at Appomattox when his commanding officer, Joshua Chamberlain, accepted the formal surrender of the Confederate Army. Williams died in 1922 at 78 years old, and now he will finally be buried. The great thing about it is we are about to take part in and plan the last funeral ever for a member of the 20th Maine, which is a really, unusual thing. The last funeral was in 1935. Certainly an incredible story. We're told Private Williams will be buried in the Togus National Cemetery in Maine on September 17th. Live in studio, Kristen Carosa, WMUR.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Ryan Lockley says, my mistakes was over-exaggerating. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Empty bag to do a hefty job.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
I am sorry.
Overnight, Ryan Lochte telling what he says is the real truth in an interview with Brazilian television. The 12-time medalist offering a long list of apologies.
Brazil doesn't deserve that. It was my fault.
Lochte says he is now taking full responsibility for the events that led to the confrontation seen in this now infamous gas station video, in which you can see him here pulling down that poster. Police immediately suspected the swimmers were lying. With Lochte back in the U.S., they hauled the other Olympic swimmers involved in for questioning. Lochte now says he wasn't entirely truthful. Hours after the incident last Sunday morning, he told NBC
he cocked it, put it to my forehead.
Now admitting he was still drunk during that interview.
It was still hours after the incident happened. I was still intoxicated. I was still under that influence. I over-exaggerated that part, and the gun was drawn, but not at my forehead. It wasn't cocked at my forehead. It was towards my general direction, and as you can see in the surveillance, that's when my hands went up.
And after days of silent solidarity and the release of that video, teammates Gunnar Bentz and Jack Conger issuing public apologies, their versions contradicting Lochte's initial tale. Bentz writing, "We foolishly relieved ourselves on the backside of the building behind some bushes." Conger writing that Lochte removed a poster from a nearby wall, which apparently alerted the gas station employees. For the rapid escalation that night, Bentz, the youngest member of the group, pinning the blame squarely on Lochte. Writing, "Ryan stood up and began to yell at the guards, after Jack and I both tugged at him in an attempt to get him to sit back down." In the video, you see this man, Fernando Deluge, a good Samaritan, using his limited English to translate and calm the tensions. When we caught up with Deluge on Saturday, he told me the swimmers were offering cash to keep the guards from calling police.
No police, please, no police. Okay?
They were saying no police,
yes,
please.
Yes.
In police documents obtained by ABC News, Deluge testified it was Bentz who offered the money, asking him to explain they wanted to know the loss of value and to pay.
Okay, and there you go on that report. At least 40 dead as floods hit central eastern India. Officials say at least 40 people have died and hundreds of thousands have been evacuated as floods hit vast swath of central and eastern India. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great Monday. See you back here later on. Goodbye, everyone.